First, we will have roll call.
All right, Commissioner Kozer,
Present.
Commissioner Moreno,
Present.
Vice Chair Sullivan,
Present.
Chair Clapper,
Present.
and
So we have a vacancy right now on the planning commission. Commissioner Ralphs has stepped down immediately from the commission. So hopefully within the next month or so, we will get an appointment. The city council is the appointing body for planning commissioners. So
Great.
it's just 4 of us for now.
All right. Let's go ahead and stand for the flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I'll go ahead and read the COVID advisory. Pursuant to Assembly Bill 8361, this meeting will be held in person and electronically. In-person participation by the public is permitted and remote public participation is available by joining the Zoom meeting, or you may dial in by phone at 1-669-900-9128. The meeting ID is 816-6097-9009. The passcode is 185324. Members of the public participating electronically via this link and wishing to speak may do so during public comment by using the raise your hand feature in the Zoom webinar. If you dialed in by phone, you can use the *9 to raise and lower your hand and *6 to mute and then mute your phone. Written comment cards can be given to the Planning Commission Secretary prior to the start of the meeting. Comments can also be submitted via email at dknight@ciaplymouth.org before 5 p.m. on the day of the meeting. All comments will be distributed to the Planning Commission and made part of the official minutes. All right, we'll move into our first item, which is the approval of the Planning Commission regular meeting agenda for January 20th, 2022. Do I have a motion to approve the regular meeting agenda for January 20, 2022?
I move to approve.
Second. Do I have a second?
Yes, you have a second.
All right. Do we have to do a roll call on this now?
yes.
Yes, okay.
Roll call vote. Commissioner
Yes.
Kozer,
Yes.
Commissioner Moreno,
Yes.
Vice Chair Sullivan,
Yes.
Chair Clapper.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we will move on to public comment. So in accordance with California Government Code Section 54954.3, public may address the Planning Commission on any item concerning subject matter that is within the Planning Commission's jurisdiction. However, no action may be taken on items not posted on the agenda, other than to briefly respond, refer to staff, or to direct that an item be placed on a future agenda. Is there any public comment for items not on the current agenda? We will move on. There's no presentation, so we'll go to item number 5, which is the consent calendar items. Item 5.1, which will be the approval of the Planning Commission regular meeting agenda minutes from the November 18th, 2021 meeting. Any comments before we move to the approval?
Mr. Chair, it's Stephanie Moreno,
Hello.
Commissioner. The minutes actually read, the title is correct, but on the minutes for November 18th, 5.1, the motion indicates that it's for the agenda rather than the minutes. It says motion to approve the regular meeting agenda. It should read motion to approve the amended meeting minutes for October 21st, 2021. I had submitted some corrections to the minutes, which I'm sure Dana probably recorded into the minutes, but it just says agenda instead of minutes there.
Thank you very much. Good call out. So do I have a motion to approve the Planning Commission regular meeting minutes of November 18th, 2021 as amended by Commissioner Moreno?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, roll call. Vote.
Commissioner Kozar,
Yes.
Commissioner Moreno,
Yes.
Vice Chair Sullivan,
Yes.
Chair Clapper.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes 4 yeses, 0 no's.
We will move on to a public hearing item 6.1, which is to adopt a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Plymouth to make a recommendation to the City Council to adopt amendments to Title 19 of the Municipal Code, Chapter 19.84.040, Outdoor Sales and Display, and 19.98020, the glossary. Any comments from the planning director first?
No, I'm just gonna, well, I guess, yes, but I will keep this brief, because we have gone through this a few times over the last 6 months, discussing this and ways to regulate mobile vendors within the city, since we have seen an increase in those. They seem to have kind of hibernated for the winter, but I'm assuming with more community activities, better weather, we'll be seeing more of them come back again. So in the discussion with the commission, we, at our last meeting, came up with a very easy solution from moving the approval process from a conditional use permit, which requires public hearing, planning commission, larger fees, more time, to an administrative use permit. We were issuing them on a temporary use permit basis kind of during COVID. So attached to, so the changes to the municipal code will be to that section for outdoor sales and display. We also noticed there was a few little inconsistencies within that chapter 19.84 outdoor sales and storage. So there's just going to be a couple other little places that if the commission is comfortable with this and when they recommend it to the city council, I'll make a just there's I think like 3 words in here that need to be changed around. So we'll make those changes too. And then we also added a definition to our general definition section to define a mobile vendor. So that means a business that moves from place to place or which is able to move from place to place selling or delivering food or goods in the city. So next step for this would be that the council or the commission adopt the resolution, and then we would bring this to the city council for consideration. It would be a first reading of the amended ordinance, a second reading, and then it would go into effect 30 days after. So I can answer any questions. I know Commissioner Moreno has a comment, an addition of something that we had talked about at that last meeting that didn't, we're figuring out how to get it in there. It pertains especially to host sites that have already had use permits for their food trucks, to make sure that there's not a duplicate process. We want to make sure that that's covered under the first use permit. So I'll let her explain that unless she would like me to do it. But other than that, I don't have any other comments on this.
All right, Commissioner Moreno, would you like to add your comments and then we'll open it up for public comment?
Yes, thank you. And thank you, Aaron. I would like to amend section D of the 19.84.040 so that it reflects the comments made by the Amateur Brewing Company at the last meeting. He has his ability to provide for mobile vendors under the terms of his conditional use permit. The way that we've written this, you have to get a separate administrative use permit. And even though we know that that's allowed, I just want it called out in there. So it's clear that if you have a conditional use permit, you don't have to get a separate administrative use permit. So my suggested language is after the words administrative use permit at the end of the paragraph. Does everyone see where I'm talking?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Perfect.
That it say administrative use permit to the mobile vendor or under the terms of a conditional use permit at a host site. And I think, Erin, that works, right? For what we have?
Yes, I believe so. Like I told you, prior to the meeting, I'm gonna run that by the city attorney, since the conditional use permit is a more restrictive, process. I don't know if restrictive is the right word, but kind of a higher level permit. We'll make sure that wording all makes sense legally. That's the role of the city attorney, but we'll make that change to it when we bring it to city council.
So the general gist is if you have a conditional use permit already approved in process, that would override your need for the administrative use permit.
Exactly. So part of the conditional use permit, there's many aspects you can have conditioned in your conditional use permit, and one of them would be a site for a food truck, or there's many different things. Certain business types require that.
Okay, great. Thank you, Commissioner Moreno. Any public comments?
Sure. And specifically related to.
Go ahead and just say your name and representation.
This is Will Pritchard, Hanover Brewing Company. Stephanie, can you hear me specifically?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Just to clarify, we actually only operate under an administrative use permit. That's what was in the code for beer manufacturer in our area. So our 2014 permit is an administrative use permit. It's not a full conditional use permit.
So that's still is fine. So you already
Right.
have an administrative use permit.
Right. But specific to the language that she was just talking about, that's not, like, we're good with.
Okay, so then instead of saying an administrative use permit to the mobile vendor, how about if it just says an administrative use permit or under the terms of a conditional use permit for a host site?
That would work, because
And then that would cover both of those?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I was trying to make it better for you, Will, and I guess I was making it worse.
I appreciate that very much. And I would agree that, I mean, really my only comment was just that the administrative use permit for the mobile vendor can be in the hands of the vendor itself or the host tenant, which is what we are. We're actually, we rent our property from family, but we still rent it.
Yeah.
Or the landowner. So, I mean, either the owner or the tenant or the mobile vendor would be a tenant as well. But that, any of those parties could pursue a use permit, administrative use permit, basically just like we did back in 2014. So that's it. Otherwise, yeah, we had a full discussion on this last time, which I greatly appreciated the simple way of dealing with it that we came up with. So that's great. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. Any questions for Will while he's here, or any other clarifications? Let's go around the room for comment. Commissioner Moreno, any comments? Additional comments?
No further comments.
Right. Other commissioners, any additional comment?
I think this is great. Nothing here. I like the way it's brought forward and already set the record for us so we can read it direct. Thank you.
All right, well done. So we will.
I do have a procedural question.
Yes. Go
So
right ahead.
Erin, we talked about whether or not you'd be able to make those other minor tweaks to the other codes under the scope of this public hearing. Do we need to continue the public hearing to the next meeting just in case, or did you get clarification on that?
wasn't able to get clarification from the city attorney. I think we can,
Do you have the minor changes? We could just put them on record, or?
we do have the minor changes, let's see.
Then we can just make a motion as amended.
Yeah, we'll try it that way, and if the city attorney doesn't like it. So
Right back around.
they are, let's see. The first change is to remove the word permanent from the purpose of the chapter. So the purpose of this chapter is to regulate permanent outdoor sale and display, outdoor storage, and outdoor seating uses. So we would strike permanent, so it would just say to regulate outdoor sales and display, outdoor storage. You don't have this in front of you. And outdoor seating usage. And then the next is within the required, this is under general standards for all activities. Location, outdoor activities may be located as follows. Within the required parking space or in a designated vehicle drive aisle, or within required landscape planter areas only where permitted on a temporary basis through the issuance of a temporary use permit pursuant to the requirements of section 19.14.020. So that would change to administrative use permit pursuant to the sections of the section relating to administrative use permit. I believe those were the only ones. So if the record could reflect that also as part of the public hearing, I think that will cover it all for a recommendation to city council then.
All right, thank you very much. So I would propose that we move forward with making a motion. I'll ask for a motion to move ahead with the resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Plymouth to make a recommendation to the City Council to adopt amendments to the Title 19 of the Municipal Code Chapter 19.84.040, outdoor sales and display, and 19.98.020 general definitions and other amendments as noted. Do I have a motion to move ahead?
This is Vice Chair Sullivan. I'll make a motion that we move ahead to adopt the resolution as read by the planning director and discussed in the meeting.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
We get a roll call vote.
Commissioner Kozart,
Yes.
Commissioner Moreno,
Yes.
Vice Chair Sullivan,
Yes.
Chair Claptrop.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes 4 yes votes, 0 no.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks to the public, Will, for joining us and helping us through that. Appreciate it. There is no unfinished business, no new business stated. So we will move on to reports. Do we have any reports from the planning director?
I just wanted to make sure everyone saw in front of them, there's a training opportunity coming up in March. Registration is open now. If people are interested in going, at this point, it is an in-person training. If they're interested in going, please reach out to us. The city has budgeted probably for 1 commissioner to go. If 2 commissioners were really eager to go, we may be able to make that happen, but just if you have questions, let me know about that. The second is, I know with the last meeting, we had discussed trying to bunch public hearings for cost savings in publishing in the newspaper. I checked with the city clerk who coordinates all of our public hearing notices, and there's not really cost savings. That's why we did this on this agenda instead of waiting for another one with public hearing. So, and also, as you can see on the agenda, the next meeting is going to be the first Thursday of the month. We had an application that timing wise fell then. So we are trying to accommodate them for the first Thursday, February 3rd. And then depending on applications and workload, we will determine whether we'll have a second meeting on the 3rd Thursday or we'll just get all of our February work done. So
Nice. All right. Any reports or comments from the commissioners?
Yeah, I have a schedule conflict for the first Thursday of February. So I will likely not be able to be at that meeting.
Thank you for letting us know. I think
Yeah.
if either, or if you three have schedule conflicts, please try to let me know as soon as you can, because we need you all here to have a forum.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Erin, can you tell me what the application's for?
The application, so the public hearing notice goes out tomorrow, so it will be available to the public tomorrow. It is a general plan land use designation amendment, zoning map amendment for the property at the corner of Highway 49 and Main Street. It's the existing, which currently contains existing gas station and Prospect Sellers. So they are applying for an amendment to their land use designation and zoning designation for part of the property. So the property facing Main Street will continue to remain village commercial. The portion, the parking lot, undeveloped portion, they are proposing to change to suburban commercial.
So you can only process general plan amendments so many times a year unless that's changed. Is that correct?
Yeah, 4 times
it
a year, I believe it is.
4 times a year. So are you packaging these? Because this is February, early in the year. Are you packaged? Do we have any other pending general plan changes that we need to package with the same hearing?
Not that are ready to go.
Okay, but we're not going to run out for the year, right? And have people wait till next year?
I don't believe so. I mean, I've been here 3 years and this is the first one I processed, so.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, thank you. Good comments. Yeah, very good. Thanks, Stephanie. Commissioner Moreno. Any other commissioner comments?
None.
All right. Any additional comments from city staff, Dana?
None, thank you.
All right. Well, that was a nice and quick meeting. All right, at this time, I'll move to adjourn the meeting at 6:52 p.m. Our next, again, as we discussed, our next regularly scheduled planning commission meeting will be on February 3rd at 6:30 p.m. Thank you. Have a great night. Adjourn.